An amazing sculpture by the Hinduism culture. Let's see how I sliced it. Alright guys, welcome to this video. Today we are going to talk about this model over here, a Durga. This is a model from the collaboration between Estelflix and Vedic Futura, which is a designer specialized, skilled on the Hinduism, okay? So a lot of his designs are from this sculpture or from this reference, so it's really cool. I personally love this aesthetics. So let's talk about this print and see how to make those details look better on our 3D print. As you can see guys, this model in my opinion was first designed to be printed on resin printers. I think we have a lot of details and also some small features, small parts on this model, but the Estelflix designers cut some part in here. In this just one, but we have a lot of another example. If you check our channel, I made another video with a model that has a lot of parts. Okay, in this one we just have one cut, and that because we want to print this also in filament printers. Okay, we do have to pay attention at some points, and of course I will show you, but you have also the option to print in resin if you have one. So first of all, we have a lot of overhangs in here. For example, this angle is extremely steep, okay, so we may have to use support in here, I'm not sure. And also we have some overhangs that we don't need to use supports, but we have to pay attention on the features that we are going to set on our slicer. Let me centralize this again. Okay, so first of all, in this model, I recommend you to use, for example, 0.12 layer height. I do have a standard profile for this. Let's discard the change. So I recommend you to use a extremely small layer height, okay, 0.12 or even 0.1 depending on your printer. A bamboo, I think, can do layers like this. On the Creality ones, the Chinese printers ones, the Entrance printers, we do have to step up by 0.04. Okay, this is the most that your printer can go. Okay, so 0.08, I think it's too much. So let's go with 0.12 in here as layer height, and also we can keep those settings, I think, for bottom and top layers. 3 perimeters is going to be okay. Another thing, I think that's fine for beginning. That's because we have those overhangs on some parts, and if we are using a small layer height, we do have more chances to go well on these overhang regions. Okay, so let's first check, and then after this we think about supports and also the seam position. I think it's really important to select right the seam position on this model. Let's first slice it. Okay guys, let's check something. My main concern was this arm over here. Let's see how is this going to go. It's too risky in my opinion. Can you see? We don't have a lot of exposure on the inside walls looking outside, only in here and here. We can see the inside walls outside of the model. That's a problem. We shouldn't allow this to happen, but I think we are going to be okay in here without supports. Maybe if we use organic supports, I think they are not going to be printed on the top of the model. I prefer they're coming from the build plate, so it's not going to be a problem. So let's go use it. I think first let me check in here as well. Let me take off the basic, then we can look at here. In the foot as well, we have some problems. Some parts are looking the inside walls, but I think those are the only parts that we need to concern. Oh, I'm sorry guys, in here. Um, those are the only ones I think. Let's just put supports in here and also in the foot and see if we can do from the build plate. I don't like so much supports going above my pieces. Let's generate support. It's already on. Let's put the organic ones. Let's put in here 0.8, 3 interface layers, and also 0 pattern spacing. Remember to change this on your extruder settings, 0 and 0. Okay, and now let's painting supports only in here. I want only in here. In here I don't want. Let's tap shift. I think it's okay. And also in here, let's put 30 degrees. All right, here, I think that's okay. Let's check if it's going to work. All right, guys, we do have some supports inside in here above the model. I don't like so much, but hopefully, fortunately actually, we have a small inclination, so this is going to be easier to remove. Okay, if it was flat, it's going to be harder. Another thing that I'm going to change is because it's too thin, those branches are here, so maybe they are fragile. So let's change the branch diameter angle for 88, for example. Still not that good. Outside in here we don't have too much improvement. Let's try just one more time before I let it go. It's not working, it's just changing this one. So let's try a different approach. Let's keep in here 8 and also changing here. Now it's better in my opinion. For example, it's safer, I would say. We don't have so much concern anymore about the support breaking during the print. Okay, let's just use this one. All right, just remembering guys, we can print this without supports, but I always prefer to be safer. Okay, it's not a quick print. We are using a small layer height, so it's taking more time to print. So I want to be safer and guarantee the better looking on these parts. Okay, so to avoid some problems, I'm going to put those supports over here. If you are not so concerned about the downside of the foot, the downside of the arm, and you don't need so much the improvement on the overhang on these regions, you can go without supports and it's going to be fine. Okay, in my opinion, I prefer going with supports. Okay, it's your choice. You are not going to have so much trouble don't using it if you don't use. Okay, and now another thing that you have to pay attention are the small features on the model. Okay, we have some small perimeters in here like this one, and they are traveling a lot on our print. Okay, we do have some separate parts in here that can broke during the print. So to improve this, you can increase the model using the horizontal expansion, which I don't recommend because it's going to change the measures, it's going to may make us lose some details, so I don't recommend, but you could do it. Okay, on the advanced XY size compensation, then you could increase this, but I don't recommend. And also we can use the lift Z. We can use hemp lift, which I recommend right now, maximum lift Z, and slope angle. Okay, 0.2 is a good height. The nozzle is going to move up a little bit before going to travel. Okay, so on this model I do recommend it. The downside to that is because can increase the strings on your print. If your retraction settings are fine, you are not going to have trouble here. If your retraction settings are not that calibrated, if you are not so sure about your retractions, you could check your retraction settings before you enable those settings over here, okay? Remember, you can check my retraction settings in here. I also encourage you to increase a little bit the distance of the retraction since we are going to move up and then travel. So you have to put more filament, and remember, as faster as you can, you have to move on the travel settings, okay? Look at my speed print features. 45 millimeters per second on my standard profile. I will change this for 60. But on the travel speed, I'm going crazy, 200, okay? Because my Ender 3v3 SE can take it, okay? So as faster as your print can go in the travel movements, this is going to improve your retraction settings, okay? So on these models, it's really important to don't have strings, okay, to look better. So let me see if you have other points to check in here. Okay, we could enable the dynamic overhang, but first let's see if change something. So in here, if we check speed, all the print is going the same speed. So let's enable the dynamic overhang with the standard settings, and we don't have so much changes in here, so we don't have a lot of regions of extremely overhang. So everything that we put on our settings is going to be okay. All right, let me change this back. I'm going to increase this speed in here, the bridges, and also upfill. Okay. We didn't change nothing in here, so that's fine. The last thing that we may check is the seam position. Let's put in here the align and see if the software choose the good positions for us. Okay, let's enable in here seams, and I think it's okay. We don't have any, we have some parts on the face. I don't understand why. I think it's the finishing of this ring in here. I think that's okay. The software did a good job, okay? Have some seams hidden. That's fine. We can go in this way. But if you want, remember, we always have the option of seam painting, okay? Well, guys, I hope you learned something from this video, and remember, this was the simple one. We have another model that has a lot of cuts, so let's check what we can do to improve that if you are printing those chibi models from Vendic Futura. See you in the next one.